Welcome to Bank on Her. I'm Mackenzie Conklin, and I teach you how to make confidence a strength in and out of your business so you can build self-made wealth and unrealistic success on your terms. I've gone from defeatingly low self-worth to a multiple six-figure entrepreneur by learning how to bank on myself, and I believe you can do it too. Listen to find out how. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Bank on Her podcast. I'm so excited for you guys to listen in. Today's episode is backed by popular demand. It is another unlimited coaching call. You guys messaged me, told me everyone had so much beautiful feedback for the last coaching call that we had. They said they felt so seen. They had so many aha moments and it wasn't even them. They felt the love on the community. And so we are having another listen in on a coaching call podcast episode today. And again, it's a little different from the actual unlimited calls because it was anonymous. They knew it was a bonus call. They knew you guys would be listening in, but it's still really beautiful. It's still fun. I'm still really excited for you guys to hear it. And here's what I would tell you. If the coaching calls have spoken to you, if you're like, it seems really great to be in this room, to have these conversations, to get this coaching and have them. You could be having them twice a week for a year. If that sounds amazing, then come join Unlimited. We have a couple spots left. I opened up a couple more. And Unlimited is the room where you build your audacious self-belief in the skills for you to create unrealistic success on repeat in life and business using the power of confidence. There is so much support for you in Unlimited between the coaching calls, the curriculum, the Slack, the community, the challenges we have inside, the bonuses we have inside. We have so many fun bonuses. The Richer Project, where you choose a project for your life to make your life emotionally richer, and that spills into your business to help you build financial wealth. There's so much support for you. It's so, so beautiful. And so if you are someone who feels like no matter how much you've worked, you're not seeing success at the magnitude you want, you're really questioning yourself, if marketing feels a little bit tough, it feels very markety, it doesn't feel very natural, it doesn't feel effortless, it doesn't feel easy or fun, Unlimited is a really, really great place for you. If you feel like you've been faking confidence, Unlimited is a great place for you. If you feel like no matter how much you've worked on the inner work, it's not translating to this full-time, head-turning, income-generating confidence, audacious self-belief, Unlimited is the room for you. If you feel like you've been building your business and it feels really alone and you just don't have that kind of support, you don't have people who really understand you, you don't have people who are unconditionally supporting you, rooting for you no matter what, Unlimited is the place for you. A lot of people have been, of course, in group programs as female founders, but that doesn't mean you're getting unconditional support. There's a lot of people who are ready to cheer you on, to be your number one fan inside of Unlimited. We actually just had someone join the Slack. One of my private clients joined the Unlimited Slack early before this round starts. And within 30 minutes, she had 8 responses, people ready to hop on calls with her, ready to be her friend, who were just so overjoyed, saying, welcome to the family. You're going to be celebrating yourself so soon. Like, it was just an outpour of love. And so if that sounds amazing, Unlimited is the place for you. We are going to work on your marketing. We're going to work on your mindset. We're going to work on anything related to money, to confidence, to life, to your relationships. Anywhere that you're like, anything blocking you really from creating unrealistic success in your life and in your business, we're going to coach you on inside. And every single person becomes a minimum of 25% emotionally and financially richer. They usually create that in the first 4 to 6 weeks. And then you're going to spend the rest of the year just becoming richer on repeat and just going to see how good it can really get. And you're going to feel like you're just getting started Unlimited. You are going to be so blown away by how much support you have, how much you're able to grow, how much the trajectory of your success can change so fast. So if that all sounds incredible, beautiful, you want it, go to the show notes and you can either directly enroll in Unlimited or you can book a sales call with me. And I would love to meet you, love to talk with you. I've been on these sales calls this past week. They've been so much fun. Such beautiful, incredible women. We have people who are writing books, ready to start businesses, all the way to making a lot of money per month and ready to go so much bigger, ready to feel really confident in themselves. Those wanting to become content creators, those who are OBMs, coaches, tech startups, course creators, interior design firms, those living in Norway, Canada, Scotland, Thailand. I'm trying to think. People who joined and then told their friends and family to join who are coming to. There's just so many beautiful people. I'm really, really, really excited for you to potentially join. I'd love to have you. You're going to be so welcome here. And so without nope, I'm not going to say without anything else. I'm going to say one more thing. If you're really loving this podcast, it would mean the world to me. I would feel so honored and special if you could take a screenshot of this and share it on your stories before you finish the episode at any point with any ahas, anything that you took away, anything you loved, and just tag me, share the podcast, tell your friends that you love it so they can listen in too, so they can get this. It really, really goes such a long way. And I would feel so special. So go ahead and do that if you love Bank on Her. And now I will let you listen to this episode. And so let me say one more thing. I'm always saying that, and then I say more. I promise this is the last thing. The doors to Unlimited, I forgot to say this. The doors to Unlimited close for this round July 25th. So make sure you enroll or book your call before July 25th, and we get started August 1st. As soon as you join, you get access to the private podcast in Unlimited. So if you think this podcast is good, just wait for the private one that you get inside of Unlimited. So now you can listen to the episode. Thanks for putting up with me. And I hope you like this coaching call episode. Okay, hello everyone. I didn't tell you guys, this is like my fourth coffee. So I'll be a little interesting today. Okay, the thing that I wanted to talk about, and it was coaching that was in Slack, and I just want to explain it to you guys in a bit of a different way of why it's so important to really love, and not even love, but make peace with where you're at if you're frustrated by where you're at. Let me close my blinds. Sorry. So someone had said, I'm tired of wanting to change things, and I'm tired of wanting to change things when I feel like I'm not changing things. And she was down and tired and shaming herself around where she is, giving context in Slack. And what I said was, when you are down and disgusted and shaming yourself, you're too tired, down, and shamed to change it. And that's what's happening. That's why you're tired of wanting things to change without actually going about changing it. So I said the shame, the disgust, the disbelief is like 300 extra pounds for you to carry along while you're trying to change your life. And I want you to think of it like that. It's too heavy. So it's why you are tired and wanting to get up and change things, but you can't. Not that you're incapable, but why it feels so hard to do so. So you've got 300 extra pounds to carry around. And what I'm saying here, when I always say it's so important for you to make peace or love or whatever you want to call it with where you are in life and get a little happier about it, find belief in it, find good in it, is because that's you putting down the 300 pounds. I'm not ever saying love where you are, even if you have debt and doubt and all this shit. Like, I'm not saying you have to have this toxic positivity of love. It's more of, I just want you to be able to put down the 300 pounds. And the only way to put down the 300 pounds is to stop shaming yourself, stop telling yourself that you're not good enough to do it, that it can't be you, all of the things. Because once the 300 pounds are down, that is when it's easier for you to change your life. It's less energy. And the thing is you are not only trying to carry the 300 pounds, but you expend energy wishing and wanting to change your life while carrying the 300 pounds. It's just too freaking much for any person to carry. And so, well, I guess if you're a powerlifter, whatever, you can do the 300 pounds, but you get what I mean, right? And so just by you making peace with where you're at, simply gives you energy back that you were wasting before, wishing and wanting. And that alone gives you energy to change on top of putting down the 300 pounds. And so if the phrase of like, love your life is super inaccessible, don't do that. But where can you make peace? Where can you put down the 300 pounds? So I just wanted to start with that because that was coaching that was in Slack that I know not all of you will see. Wanted to say that. Any thoughts on that before we go into coaching?
Got honed in on what I needed to get honed in on. And it's what I was looking for so long. And now that I have it, I'm in a freeze state and I simply haven't even posted or written content in 2 weeks since we talked about it. And I just don't really know how to get myself out of that.
What do you want it to look like when you're out of it?
I just want it to be easy. I want to feel like I can write something quickly or have an idea and just post it without it feeling scary or second guessing it.
What's causing it to feel scary and the second guessing?
I think now that I know kind of the holistic view of my message, it feels like now I'm in a place where I need to get it right. And I had kind of gotten myself out of that a little bit before, but now that I feel more grounded in what I'm doing, I'm thinking to myself, oh, make sure you get it right now that you kind of have clarity in your message. Meanwhile, before I didn't really have that. So I was just kind of throwing darts at a wall and seeing what stuck.
Why does it have to be different now that you know what you want to do?
I don't know. I guess I'm kind of judging myself or prejudging myself for my content or my message, even though it's not even out there yet.
Mm-hmm. How do you, like you, for you specifically, not like what other people do, how do you think you'll get to the place where it's a little more unfiltered, not even like massively unfiltered, but a little more unfiltered and a little easier?
I think for starters, even if I can just take past content, because I know for the most part, my content isn't necessarily going to change. It's just how cohesive it all is. So if I can take past content and start with repurposing it to kind of align with how I want it to be, that's a good way to kind of move past the starting line. But then I need to I feel like I need to coach myself a lot on just like showing up and being seen and putting content out there in general, because it's that cycle of like, you're doing a good job and you're putting things out there and you're letting yourself be seen. And then I will just kind of retreat and I don't quite know why I'm retreating.
What's so terrifying about being seen? I mean, I'm not saying I don't get it. I get it. I'm just,
Yeah.
what's so terrifying?
I've never really thought about that because I say it all the time that I'm afraid to be seen.
Yeah.
I think it feels like the more I put myself out there, it's not, and the more I'm seen, the more I have to gain, but then it's also the more I have to lose.
Why?
I don't know. It's like I've made it out to be this scary thing. And maybe
what if you've already been seen this entire time? So that you make new content, you're not being any more seen. You've already been seen.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I haven't been doing this for however many years. So I think I'm now feeling more pressure about the concept of being seen for myself. Like, I feel like I'm anticipating shaming myself and being hard on myself now that I'm at a place where I feel okay about my marketing.
Yeah, this is always very interesting when people say things like this, because the thing is you're so afraid of shaming yourself and it being hard, but you're like where you are right now, you are already shaming yourself for it being hard. You're already living the thing that you're fearing.
Yeah.
Why is content going to make it worse in your head? Whereas, so if we think of the concept of mastering the bridge, right? You're on the side of the bridge where your fear of the bridge is, I'm going to shame myself, but you're already shaming yourself over here. Right. And so you are shaming yourself for not only being here and the discomfort that comes with that, but you're also disappointed with yourself for staying here. Right. Whereas, and you're under the false premise of, if I cross the bridge and if I do this scary thing, I'm going to shame myself. But really what happens when we end up crossing the bridge is you don't keep shaming yourself for the content. You actually become more, if you apply the concept of the bridge and you realize you're in it, you actually have the opportunity to become proud of yourself for trying to cross the bridge. You become proud of yourself for taking on the discomfort of growth. And that elicits more celebration, more pride versus the shame and disappointment that you're currently experiencing. But if we're not seeing it like the bridge, it won't happen like the bridge. And so for anyone listening on the podcast, it's a concept we teach inside of Unlimited. But if you apply the bridge, you can be like, oh, I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing. And there's less shame. I'm proud of myself for doing the thing. And it helps you to actually cross that bridge. What are your thoughts?
It makes so much sense. And you're right. I wasn't thinking about it as if it was the bridge, but you're right. That's spot on. And I think I always end up going back to, and maybe this is what it is once I start, if I stop posting or if I stop moving forward, I tend to think that I'm just going to go all the way backwards. And then there's shame in that. And I know you've talked about this in the past about, it's not like you're rolling up a ball up a hill and
watch the replays then.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's not like you're rolling a ball up a hill and the second you stop, it goes all the way back down. It's just you're on a flat surface and it stops moving. I think that's the other piece. And maybe that's some of it is I'm struggling to also start because I'm like, well, what if I stop again? And I'm
Another
acting like
analogy.
impossible.
Have you heard me talk about the bike analogy?
No.
Okay. So another analogy we can apply to this that might click a little bit better in your brain is that, I like literally can't remember the phrase people use. It's like, it's easy as riding a bike. Is that what they say? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the thing is that it's not, this is embarrassing. I used to long distance cycle, like 60-mile stuff. And if I get on a bike now, I am, despite 60 miles a day kind of riding, I am so awkward when I get back on the bike. I know how to ride it, but what I always say, and the analogy that I use here is that the first 30 yards that I get back on that bike, I'm wobbly, right? I'm like, it feels awkward. It feels really unnatural. I'm like, I'm going to fall over. This is not going to be good. But if I just get past those first 30 yards, my muscle memory kicks back in and I'm just riding the bike again. And it's not so scary, but those first 30 yards are so uncomfortable and you want to get off. You want to get off because you're like, I'm going to fall. I don't know how to ride this bike anymore. And I'm an adult, right? It's the same thing, I think, a lot of times in business with the start stop, or if you have to take a break. I know for clients who've had to take a break for maternity leave, health conditions, they just got, into a rut, whatever it is. The start stop, it's just like riding a bike. And I think you just need to allow yourself to get past the first 30 yards. But if you keep hopping off, it just keeps feeling like it won't change because you've just been stuck in the 30 yards. It's okay if you hop off the bike, but where can you make it to 31 yards? Just to prove to yourself that, oh, yeah, no, I've got this. And it's okay if I have to hop off because I know that I can get through the first 30 yards again.
I love that so much. And it's like the way that you're describing that. So like in my life, right, I used to run a lot. And just yesterday, I went for a run for the first time in a couple of months and I wanted to stop after the first 2 minutes. I was like, I'm out. But then I kept going. It was fine. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can run long distance again. Like this isn't an issue. So if I can do that in other areas of my life, there's no reason why I can't do that in business. And I tend to other business a lot, like put it in its own little bubble and not apply any of the lessons outside of it to it.
Like how you do running, how you do life is also how you can do business. Think of it how you can start running again. You can
Absolutely.
I think where can you going back to the bridge, we often think we're like 10,000 feet up on this bridge that has no railings. Where can you realize it's literally just a foot off the ground? Like if you fall off, if something happens, it's not a big deal. We can just get right back up.
Right? Yeah. I think the thing that always comes up for me is the phrase, like, it's really not that serious. Yeah. Like, it's not that serious to post something on social media.
Yeah. And here's what I would actually suggest. And I think we said this on our call. Where can you just go peer coach with women here and even just tell them what you do, right? So I have it up. Where can you just go tell people, hey, I help people feeling lost and ungrounded in themselves go from the supporting role in their own life to wildly unapologetic, putting themselves first, creating the life you've actually wanted through unwavering self-trust and self-discovery. I can see this right now. They're going to put it in the chat. I know they're not. It's a podcast, but where can you just practice saying that to people who, for example, are safe? She just said, this makes me want to cry. I love it. See? So I think you just need to practice too. Where can we just see that this is safe? Where can we just see that we can try it out in places of safety and be seen in safe places and coach the people in safe places too, so that when you feel like you do want to create the content again with this new direction, it feels safer already.
I am going to hold myself accountable for after this call going and putting that in Slack because I think I've avoided it since we talked about it because it does feel unsafe. So I'm like, Mackenzie knows that.
They all nodded their head, so I'm sure they'll keep you accountable too.
Perfect.
Okay, does that help?
Yeah, that's what I need to do.
Amazing. Okay, cool. All right, I'm glad that was helpful. Okay, next up.
Hello.
Hi, what can I coach you on?
I wanted to talk about something that you posted in stories. I think you actually have talked about it in a previous coaching call, but the identity when you drew out, when people are within the parts of their identity and shifting into the next bit, it can feel like you're operating within here and you're trying to get to here, but it's you quite often hit against the top part.
Yeah, Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. One thing that was coming up for me is,
Let me explain just for podcast purposes. So on a past call, what I've explained is that if we think of identity as almost like stepping stones on one identity to the next identity, we can almost play in a range of like the bottom of the step all the way to the vertical top of the step, if that makes sense. And so you can play within an identity range. You can be at the bottom of one identity range or the top of one identity range. And sometimes we get stuck at the top of one identity range because we're scared to flip over to the next step, the next identity range. Okay, continue. Sorry, I just wanted to give some context.
yeah, no, absolutely. I actually think it's probably a good refresher for me too. So, but yeah, I think that is something that I notice is like when I start to get to like the top of an identity range, I almost make that my identity, that I'm like at the top of an identity range. And it's like, I will quite often like even feel like hear myself saying, or like notice myself when I'm, doing self-coaching, saying like, I am kind of on the precipice of something new. And I kind of just stay there. I don't often take that next step. And I am wondering, is it just about like creating more safety in that next step, or creating more safety and uncertainty, or is there other things that I can really
I think the one constant everyone will have, this is why confidence is so important. The one constant you will have in all of life, no matter what, is yourself. So it's not even, I think, not even, my brain immediately goes to, it's not necessarily, it is creating safety in the next level, but more so, how can you create more safety in yourself, more trust in yourself, more belief in yourself, so that when you go to the next level, it doesn't matter where you are in any identity range or what's going on, you have that safety in yourself more. And we've talked about before too, when I've asked you guys before, like, why are you so afraid of believing in yourself? I remember your answer was more in the range of fear of success.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the conversation I'd be more interested in having, of like, what is it about that next identity range, that next step, that feels scary, that feels unknown, that makes you want to stay at the top of the lower identity range?
I think that there's definitely a piece on, I guess it is like uncertainty of like, am I capable of like the next stage, and kind of feeling like, I guess you use the analogy of, pushing a ball up a hill. I kind of feel like, what if I push it too much and then it's like the ball's like away from me and I can't, and then I'm like running to catch up with the ball instead. I think that is something that I have been worried. I think also definitely in terms of just when I look back on like certain aspects of my life, there's definitely been a lot of places where like operating at like my highest like 10% has been like not good for me. And it's like the more that I need to be efficient, the more I can be efficient, but I think the more that it's like impacted like all aspects of like my own life and feeling like this control. So there's definitely some fear as well of like, when I have operated in that way, it's not been enjoyable or something I wanted.
So that is literally what I wrote down, and let's talk about it. But the thing that came up of like, when you said, am I capable of the next stage? What if it gets too far ahead of me? Or, if it is going fast, it kind of costs me. I think the belief to really work on here is like, I'm in control.
Yeah.
I'm in control of how fast this goes. I'm in control if I need a break. Nothing will ever get away from you, because there's always the option to take the step back. There's always the option to return to your safety. There's always the option for you to create what you need to become more safe in that next step.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think also just if I'm being like really logical about it too, is like, I know that the way that I support myself is different now than it's ever been. So like logically, the fears that I'm having, I can hold myself in because things aren't the same. I'm not the same. So no, that makes a lot of sense.
And I think too, with success, this is almost like a have faith kind of coaching situation, but where can you trust that you'll never, like you will not have what you cannot handle? If it's being created by you, if that level of success is being created by you, it's because you've created it. Because you can handle it. And I think especially with you, like, where can you trust that your nervous system will not give you what you cannot handle?
Yeah, no,
your nervous system might get stressed, right? Of course, that always happens. But even if you guys think of just fear of success or self-sabotage in general, when we have that, we will often stop ourselves from going to the next level because our body takes over, our nervous system takes over, right? We will implement things in place, procrastination, avoidance, just our nervous system pulls something up so that we don't get there, right? And so it's like, especially with you, I think, where can we even, you already have it fantastically, but where can we improve the relationship with your body and trust, my body's got me, my nervous system has my back. it's not going to give me anything that I can't handle and that I'm not in control of.
Yeah, I think the piece that I definitely need to work on is I think that's almost a part of it is like I feel so connected and feel so comfortable with my body and nervous system now that I'm nervous about not having that anymore. So it's almost like I'm not that it's a gamble because it's not, but I think that's what it feels like right now. I think that's the narrative that I've been telling myself. Whereas I think I just need to remember that like I'm actually really good at supporting myself and my nervous system and my body like in the moment. So why would I not be good at that in the moment in the future, even if it's different circumstances going on around me? And I think, yeah, I feel like that's like proper epiphany moment right now for sure.
Let me explain too. So like if you are and this might not be the case, but for example, if at your current identity range, right, you have this for people on the podcast, I'm showing like a range. If you were previously, when you were at the bottom of the range, you didn't yet have that kind of control in your nervous system. And now that you're at the top of the range, you do. It makes sense that when you go to the next range, you're almost placing those old conditions of at the bottom of this range, I didn't have control. So at the bottom of this new range, I won't have control, when that's not the case. You're basically, if we think of the steps, if you didn't have the control at the bottom of the step, at the top of the step you do, the top of one identity range meets with the bottom of the next identity range. Again, if you think of stairs, I know I'm not, for people on the podcast, this might not make sense, but nothing has been lost. Nothing is recreated in the lower identity range before. You're bringing all those skills with you.
I definitely needed that reminder today. And it's definitely something that, yeah, it actually, even just like right now, I feel so much more comfortable like thinking about that next step.
Yeah. And I think where can you spend more time thinking of like, who do I want to be in this new identity?
Yeah.
What is she thinking through? Who is she on the hard days too? How does she regulate herself on the hard days too, and on the good days? And just not, I think a lot of the times with the next identity, we think of what we will have or what we will create, and less time in how will we handle ourselves on the bad days? How will we be? What will we think through? And where can you spend more time there, which is all within your control, right? That's why I said brought up control, because your nervous system, although it's going to do what it does, it's within you know how to manage it, right? And obviously we cover a lot of that in here too. And you're in control of the thoughts. You're in control of how you handle things, right? And so it's spending more time in that and less in like this big success and what if it gets away from me? I wouldn't go there. I would just go in who am I in the next phase?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That feels very doable.
Okay. Anything else? Does that help?
No, that's been so helpful. Thank you.
Taking a quick break so that you can hear from my clients. I love what I've created with my clients and what they've been able to do from our coaching, but I don't want you to just take my word for it. Here's what some of my clients have had to say while working together.
I joined Unlimited because I was finding that even though I felt very confident at times, there was still behind the scenes a lot of unwavering. And that was something that was causing a lot of that lack of confidence, a lot of self-doubt. And even though I could present myself a certain way, my brain kept having all these thoughts and beliefs around the fact that maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not cut out to succeed at certain levels or whatever that might be, right? And I knew by following and connecting with Mackenzie for, I don't know how long it was, maybe like a year or two, that she really is a leader in the confidence field and being able to cut down that wavering that you might experience, the up and down fluctuations between feeling super freaking confident and feeling like you're not enough and you can't succeed, like you're not successful at all. And to be able to minimize that, I knew would be such a life-changing experience, not just for myself to feel really freaking good about myself on a more quote unquote permanent basis, but also to be able to feel even more confident and trust myself in knowing that whatever I set my mind to, I'd be able to achieve.
All right, next.
Oh, hey.
Are you ready to talk to me?
No, but I still have all my hair, so that's good.
All right, for context, she didn't want to get on the call. I made her get on the call. Let's talk. What's going on?
I just feel like a little ball of resentment today. I'm angry at everything. I'm angry at all the healing that I feel like I have to do and all the reparenting and relearning things and changing of not great thought patterns and behaviors I have to do. And I feel like I just don't want to do anything and I just want to crawl into a hole and avoid everything.
Okay. Here's the thing. I think when you are like, I have to heal and I have to rewire and I have to reparent, that sounds like a lot. And I'd be angry and fed up too. I think the little element that you're missing in all of this, or at least you're missing today being angry, right? Is like, it's not all of this like endless fucking work you have to do because you're already enough where you are too. You could stop right now, never heal anymore, never rewire, never reparent, and still be enough and get everywhere where you want to go. You're choosing to the heal, rewire, reparenting because you deserve to, because you want to feel a little different, but you're already enough where you are. If you decide, that's why in Slack, I was like, so be mad. Be mad. Don't do it. That's fine. Because you're already enough. Nothing needs to change. You get to change because you want to change, because you feel like you deserve to change, because you want to have a slightly different existence of how you respond or move to things. But don't think of it of like, I have to do all this work to get where I want to go. No, fuck that. You're already enough. You're already fine. Nothing about you. No, not a single inch of who you are or your existence has to change. You're already perfect as you are, and who you are can get everywhere that you want to go. You don't have to do all this work to get where you want to go. It's just a bonus. It's coming up.
That feels nice.
I'm sure it does. That's why I told you to get on this call.
I feel like this mood and vibe has just got me into this feeling like I feel like this all the time. I'm going to feel this shitty always, and I can't take that off. That I feel like I'm just constantly retelling myself that in this moment. It's like, I'm just going to feel like this forever. Everything I do is just a Band-Aid. Like, I don't know, like I want to give up. Like I'm tired.
Yeah, because you're not letting yourself be tired because you keep telling yourself you have all this freaking work to do.
Yeah.
Just be tired. Be mad.
Yeah.
You're acting like this healing, this rewiring, this reparenting, all that is a full-time job, and you run 2 businesses. Of course you're tired and don't want to do it.
It's like, I feel like I'm frustrated because like living a life where I'm confident in myself and comfortable and believe the things that you just told me feels like such a better existence. Just want to be there.
Yeah, you already are. That's the thing, is you're telling yourself the story that you're not already there. You just need to tell the story.
Yeah.
And it might feel so similarly I tell you guys a lot, when I first started my confidence journey, the first thing I did was like in a mirror, I was like, okay, I love you. It was really weird and unnatural, and I didn't believe it yet. I had to tell myself that new story of I loved myself and I was enough, and I didn't hate my body, and I didn't hate how I looked, and I didn't hate my personality. I just had to tell myself new stories before I believed them. So if you keep telling yourself the story, that sounds so nice, I'm not there yet. It's the exact same narrative you're telling yourself as I have to do all this rewiring to get there. No, you're already there, but you're just not telling yourself the very true, more empowering truth, the Met, right? Of I'm already here. But because I've been telling myself this stupid ass, like disempowering story that I'm not there yet, it's also fueling the tired, the angry that I'm not there yet. So I think you need to tell yourself the story of I'm already enough. And you can even, like, if you have to start in different ways and be like, okay, like Mackenzie says, I'm already enough, and I need to tell myself this story for right now.
Yeah.
Like, you can just use that little 2% shift of stepping stone of like, all right, this bitch is the one saying I have to do this.
Yeah, that might help for today. I feel like I'm pretty good at having my back on normal days, but I feel like if I like, I'm tired of making decisions, feel like, and it feels like if I outsource that decision, because I outsourced something earlier to somebody else this morning, and that made me feel really good. And that just feels nice today.
Yeah. The other thing too is because our brains are so, like I said this yesterday, our brains as women, especially of marginalized identities, even more so, are so conditioned into we're not worthy, we're not enough, right? This is how you should be. And it's reinforced by society every single day in a million little ways we're not even aware of. And so when we're changing that, it feels really heavy. And so when we have big emotions, like we're really down, we're really upset, we're really mad, what will happen is that you get mad that you have to do all this work, but you don't get mad at your brain when it goes back into the conditioning of I'm not enough. You just let it take over again. It just goes right back into autopilot there. And so a little trick that I will do is, instead of getting mad, you can get mad about like all the work you have to do, sure. But if my brain goes into like any sort of thought of like, you're not enough, or this isn't good enough, or like this or that, I use that anger and I'm just like, no, fuck that. Fuck that. I'm not saying that today. Like, I don't want to deal with that today. So just like, fuck the work, but also fuck the idea that I'm not enough, or that like, whatever the thought is coming up, just direct the anger there too. Don't just go back to autopilot of what our conditioning is into not being enough.
Yeah, that's extremely helpful because it feels like it's also empowering to know that I can redirect the anger somewhere. And like, just the fact of doing that is helpful.
And I think too, you didn't say this, but we don't have to have shame for any emotion that we're experiencing. You don't have to stifle it. There's nothing bad about anger. So just let yourself be angry. We're often told that anger is bad. We're not supposed to be angry as women, but you can be angry and it's fine.
Yeah, especially when I feel like a little rage machine. I feel like I just have to quiet it, but it doesn't want to be quieted.
Not to quiet it. And I would just say, here's the thing is like, don't fire hydrant out that rage at yourself. Don't fire hydrant out that rage at people who don't deserve it. Just fire it somewhere into open space, but like, let yourself experience it.
Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything
I'm
else?
glad I came today.
I'm glad. I know I saw when I put in Slack, see you in 17 minutes. I was like, she might not like this or come or see it in time, but we're going to try. So that's good.
She's here. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Every time you don't want to get coached, you're like, okay, all right, it worked. Okay. Does anyone else want to get coached in the free time that we have?
Yeah, like I feel like I have stuff on my mind, but I don't know 100% if it's like a specific question, and it might just be the same scenario of like, just let yourself feel the feelings, I guess.
It comes up. Well, just at least talking it out might help you feel the feelings.
Everything's going like super well, like, in theory, but also like actually, and then like superficially too, like in terms of like metrics and whatnot. And it's like, okay, like it's all actually happening. And I think it's similar to what we talked about before of like joy and relaxation is kind of like strange to me. So yeah, so I almost feel in a sense that like there's a default of creating a little bit of chaos, or like finding something to sort of fixate on and be upset about, or creating a problem when there's no problem.
Yeah.
And I kind of find myself doing that now because, and I find this happens a lot too. I guess my question more specifically is, how the, I guess, mindset of like, what if you could, how did it go? It was like, what if you just like believe, or what if you just think that like nothing's wrong? Like stop thinking that it's not working and just think like, okay, like I did it, everything's out there, and like whatever. Like doing that with like marketing and business has helped so much. Like I realized, okay, I don't actually have to think like I'm not doing enough or something's wrong. Like done, it's out there. And I'm wondering like what's a hack for that, I guess, like personally or romantically.
Okay. Is it the romantics that
Yeah, because
is that what we're really talking about here?
yeah, because it's annoying that I feel like I'm kind of creating a little bit of that chaos, but like I don't really feel like there's 100% reason to feel like that. And I don't know if I'm annoyed at the reality or if I'm annoyed at myself for being annoyed.
Okay, wait. Can I have a little more context? So I just want to make sure I understand. So it sounds like my understanding is in dating and relationships, you're not used to it being happy and easy. So
Yeah, easy. Yeah, is the main thing. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just weird because I almost like question sort of my, I guess, like desire, because, for example, like what's going through my head like in the last 2 days is like, okay, everything's fine. We already have like established communication around, like you don't like text somebody to get to know them. Like you text to make plans and meet up. So cool. That's what we've been doing. Right. but I'm getting upset, and or not upset. I'm just like, there's this thing where I'm like, why aren't you obsessed with me? Like, why don't you want to know everything that I'm doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing some cool shit. And I just kind of hate that I'm thinking that.
Okay, don't hate that. I get that. This feels very reminiscent to when I was dating my now boyfriend. How would you, the version of you who like has the relationship she wants, has the business that she wants, has the identity that she wants, the whole thing, how does she want to handle this?
Yeah, I feel like I've been trying to tap into that today, especially because I was like, because when it's like annoying when you're like always checking your phone, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, this is annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be distracted. Like, I just want to like enjoy myself. But like, there's that like, ooh, like maybe, So I was already kind of thinking of that, of like, okay, let's just not do that and just focus on like training the dog.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
let's just do that today, But I don't know. Yeah. Cause then there's all these stories that are kind of coming up of like, oh my God, maybe like based on the last conversation, because I said this and it's just like all made up, So it's like, I don't know, not necessarily like, how do I stop that? But it's like, what can I do in those situations?
One, I want you to fill up more time with the Richer Project. That's just the first thing. Second thing though, can we just sit and acknowledge that you are really excited about this potential person, relationship, right? And you've wanted it for so long. So it makes sense that you're really excited and eager now that a potential thing is here. Right. And I think you need to think through kind of what I said of like, how do I want to respond to this? So like what comes up in my head, and this is just me. So you don't have to do this by any means, but what my head would go to is I'm going to text this person and I'm going to be like, hey, I keep checking my phone because I want to talk to you more. And I know we said that we're not texting, but like, I want to talk to you more. So can we talk a little more? I would express that, but that's me. So you have to decide like, what's that version of me want to respond with this? If everything goes my way, if everything always goes my way, how do I want to respond to this and handle this and have my own back through it?
Yeah, that definitely lands. And like, I feel, sorry. Yeah, I feel definitely similar to that, because I don't want to be the person that's like, oh, like he has to like text first, like fuck that. If I want to talk to you, I'm just gonna talk to you. So I did, yeah. Like I text them to try to like make plans tomorrow, but it's like, you know what I mean? Still like the checking. It's just so annoying. Like I said, I don't know, like I just like talking it out, I guess at this point.
I think you're kind of like me, and tell me if I'm wrong, where I'm like, I'm not that girl who checks a phone and shit. Like, I'm like, that's not me. But it's also like, what if that's not a big deal if you check your phone? Like, if you don't like checking the phone because you're like, I just don't want to be on my phone, totally understand. But if there's an element of shame of like, I'm not that person. I don't, I am like independent and I don't do that. Like, where can you unshame it if you are just checking your phone, if that's happening?
That is exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Where can it just be okay that you're really excited about something? So of course you're checking your phone. It's the same way that you probably were checking your email when your biggest contract just came through.
Yeah, facts.
Right? Checking the PayPal, checking the Stripe, but it's the same thing. Like, why do we have to shame this? And what if the most confident, badass, whatever version of you is someone who just lets herself be excited, lets herself do this? What if that's possible too?
Yeah, true. I guess that's a helpful reframe, because instead of like, I could think of it as I'm just letting myself be like excited for this versus
which you've wanted to be for so long. You have what you've wanted, but now I don't even want to call it like you're self-sabotaging, creating problems, but maybe you're just not looking at it this way where you're letting yourself be more excited.
Yeah, because I feel like, I guess there's the energy behind it more so of like that ick around, I'm just looking for proof almost that the other shoe is going to drop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is, like, it's too good to be true.
But is it okay if it feels like that though? Like, I don't want you to expect the other shoe to drop. Let's coach if that's the case. But where does it make sense that when things haven't worked out, or you felt like you wanted this for so long, and now all of a sudden it's happened very fast, right? It wasn't that you said that you went on that first date. So of course your nervous system is like, are we sure? Like, can that be okay?
Yeah, like I guess it can be okay, and we'll just see. I just hate the waiting. Like, this is so annoying.
That's the thing, is like, you decide how you'd respond, but like, my confident ass is going to be like, I don't like waiting. And be like, do you want to hang out? Not like, do you want to hang out or not? But like, I want to talk to you. Talk to me. And I had to unshame that as like, that's not needy. I'm just expressing my needs. That's fine. I like that about myself.
Yeah, fair enough. And like I always like I just hate like the rules like around dating and whatnot, you know, like I'm just like I don't really want to do any of this. And yeah, I think like just that because there's like an element of shame around like, oh, like I just really need a lot of attention. And I've and I'm kind of like I think that is true in a sense. But I don't necessarily think that that's like a bad thing.
No, it's not.
So
like for example, for me, I'm a quality time love language. I want to be talking. I would probably fall on the range of my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law always tells me I'm a high maintenance girl who acts like she's low maintenance, but I own that now. I'm like, whatever, it's fine. I'm high maintenance, but I'm going to pretend I'm low maintenance. And because I've unshamed it, I have found matches not only, well, I'm less needy with other people. I would say it's mostly in my relationship, but I found a match who's cool with that, who also is the same way, to be honest. But it's because I've unshamed it. It's okay to be whoever I am. And there's no, like, we have to make it so that there are no rules. It's just like, what do I want? And how can I make it safe for myself to express my needs?
yeah. Okay. And I really like the reframe now because it's like now, you know, throughout the day or whatever, like I'm still gonna like, I gotta train this guy because like he is so good, but like he has a mind of his own. He's just like, come. Yeah, right. I'm gonna stay in the sun. But so I'm gonna, like distract myself / like focus on things that are related to me, but have that I guess energy of like I'm checking my phone because I'm excited for what is there versus like I'm checking like out of worry or out of like this, like fear or whatever. And then when he does like text back or we do plan stuff, then it's like that additional excitement versus like, oh, finally, finally I can exhale. It's like, oh, okay, like I've already been happy. Now it's like, yay. Okay.
Yeah, don't steal that opportunity away from yourself to be happy. Give it to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, it's just so crazy to me. Like, what? Like, I could literally go like live my dream life and have a person. Like, what? Okay. Stop. Like, get out of here.
You do. And I would even explore like what has allowed me to create this. What is it that's allowed me to create this? Because there's going to be another thing that comes along that you're like, I don't know if I can have that too. And you can apply the same thing that you've done here, right? And the work we've been doing to apply it to that future thing.
Yeah.
Because at one point it was like, I don't think I can have the business. Oh, then we got it. It's really successful. I don't think I can have the person. Okay, now we have the person. We want to make sure that we can keep repeating the process and take away the pattern of like, I don't think I can have it or it can't be me. And I'm playing with this idea of like, this can't be me mindset, right? And taking that away. So it just like, it can be me. It can be the next thing. I can achieve the next thing.
All right. Let's do
Go on your dates. Go on your dates, train your puppy, run your businesses.
Just live life. I love it. Thank you.
Of course. Okay. Anyone else have anything? We good? How we feeling? Good? Happy Friday? Okay, wait, what are we celebrating?
I'm celebrating another 5K month because I'm amazing.
You are amazing.
And a life coaching client that I have been pouring into, and she's already been like, wow, this is so helpful. And I'm like, yeah, this is really awesome.
Amazing.
So I'm celebrating the heck out of those two things, especially.
I love that. I'm proud of you. What are we celebrating?
I got my first payment from like nannying stuff today. So that was exciting and like I also just like celebrating the fact that I'm getting this experience before my school starts is like major. I've been like reading, literally, I have it right here, how to teach kids to read through a linguistic approach because it's like better than
some light reading.
Yeah, well, it's mostly all work. Like it's an actual like practice book for them, and like it's only the first 55 pages that are actually the the stuff. But like I'm just like getting into stuff that I haven't like even been interested in a while, and I'm just excited. So yeah,
I love it. I love it. I love it. You other ladies, what are we celebrating?
I'm celebrating. I just checked last night and we officially reached 1 million people through a piece of content. That's never happened before. And it's amazing. Like,
Wild.
so wild. So good.
Oh, I have chills. That's so exciting. Okay, amazing. Save more money in the past week than I have in the past month. Read our backyard this week to make it a beautiful place to spend time. I love that. Not you saving money and having money and feeling good about it. I love it. Amazing. All right. One more.
I'm celebrating posting for the first time in literally probably like 18 months with zero mind drama, just enjoying it, just being able to like open up and just speak and be like, yeah, that was good enough. Like I can take up space in that way and have fun with it.
And your audience loves you. They just want to hear from you. Me included. Okay, amazing. All right. I'm so proud of all of you. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Go have fun in the sun because there's not any in San Francisco. So go live it up for me and we will chat soon. Okay. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for listening. It means the world. I feel so special every time you guys message me and tell me how much you love this podcast. So thank you for listening. And if you really, really love the podcast, I would love, it would mean the world to me if you could take a screenshot, share it on your stories, tag me, and just let other people know so that they can build their confidence right alongside you. And if you haven't heard, I'm sure I've said it, but the doors to Unlimited are officially open. This is my signature program for female founders and ambitious women ready to build audacious self-belief in the skills for them to create their version of unrealistic success on repeat. This program is known for women becoming a minimum of 25% financially and emotionally richer. It is now a year-long program, so you get a year access of the curriculum, which people binge more than Netflix. You get a year of coaching with me. We have 2 calls per week. You get access to the Richer Project for a year and to our absolutely unmatched community. And so if you apply before July 13th, you're eligible to get a 2-hour VIP intensive bonus with me. And the doors are open all of the way until July 25th, but we always sell out the first week. And so make sure you apply before then. We would absolutely love to have you for a year now. And so thanks again for listening. Make sure to share on your stories, and I can't wait to welcome you inside of Unlimited.